believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
That has to change. Increasing NASA's budget.
Are we alone in the world? Is there life beyond death? Are there other beings out there in the cosmos? These questions and more have been pondered by mankind for as long as we can remember. Even today, with all of these paranormal reality shows, one has to wonder how much of it is real. What truly lies in creation. My name is Dakota Franson. 10 years ago, I took on my very first paranormal investigation. These events have intrigued me for as long as I can remember. As I grew older, I learned that things we deem supernatural have been waiting for me for a very long time. And the search for answers has been running through my blood for almost 400 years. Psychic powers, gods, monsters,
something's moving between the trees.
Heaven, hell, even aliens, and everything in between. I've seen it all. The understanding of creation itself is within reach. If I disappear, that just means I found something I wasn't supposed to.
The Northern Lights have seen strange sights, but they have never seen stranger than me.
The entire time I was being followed. So then I get out my phone and I started videotaping, and I walked into the kitchen and I stopped and I said something along the lines of, I wish something would happen right now.
I kind of want something to happen.
And within 2 seconds, someone came and whacked my hand and flipped my phone.
I was about 14 years old, staring out the back door of my house, and along the fence line, we lived right near a alfalfa field. Along the fence line, there was this sudden metallic silver flash right along the fence line, and it went along for about 100 yards, then all of a sudden it took straight up and gone. When I was about 16, and the policeman who lived next door saw it at the same time. Going along about across the field was this cigar-length thing that looked like to be almost a football field in length, and red at each end and black in the middle. It took off and went straight up. I was working on a farm, and all of the workers out there looked up, and all of a sudden this silver object circles them twice and then flies off. About 10 minutes later, there must have been 10 planes in the air, just going back and forth.
I was 12 years old in 1979. I was looking at the camp telescope, and all of a sudden I see some kind of light.
Specialist of the strange case number 001275. Codename, Vapula Rises. A young man, named Carl, out of Nevada reached out through social media for assistance on a large shadow dog stalking him. An anonymous user recommended subject seek out assistance from Dakota Franson. After a thorough evaluation, it was determined that the shadow dog was in fact a demonic presence slowly working to possess Carl. The demon was identified as Vapula, a Grand Duke of Hell. also believed to be a Nephilim. An exorcism procedure was planned and executed, with rather violent complications. Carl was recommended to a church therapist to deal with symptoms akin to withdrawals. Soon we learned the exorcism was not fully effective as Vapula attempted to exact his revenge by attempting to murder Dakota in his own home. Dakota was saved by the intervention of the Archangel Michael, confirming suspicions angels themselves can possess a human host under dire circumstances. When Carl was notified of Vapula's return, he soon passed away from suspected suicide.
It is no secret that mankind has always been curious about what's up in the sky. The UFO phenomenon is only the tip of the iceberg. With global disclosures coming from world governments, certainly makes you wonder, is something coming? In fact, where I'm standing right now, I am currently just off of Highway 93 between Filer and Twin Falls, Idaho. This is actually not too far from my own house. And as I was coming home from work one day, right over there, two unidentified flying objects. Now, this, of course, got me excited. Because here I was thinking, ooh, yay, close encounter. But as soon as I got close, they disappeared. Those who I've told this story to provided their skepticism. Don't get me wrong. When you talk about subjects like this, it's unavoidable. They said, oh, Dakota, are you sure they didn't have any surveyors out where nobody was playing with their drones? No. Drones just don't up and disappear like that. Something was here. And if you thought 2020 was crazy, just imagine what might be coming with 2021.
It is now okay to talk about life elsewhere or intelligent life elsewhere, whereas a decade or two ago it wasn't okay. It was considered too speculative to be worth any investment of time.
That the number of stars in our galaxy alone is so staggeringly large, of the order of 10 to the 11 or more. The probability of stars having planetary systems is so high, we think perhaps half. The probability that those planetary systems might be comparable with our own, and that the stars have some kind of an ecosphere, a sphere in which the radiation is suitable for life, that it's not too hot, not too cold, meeting the other criteria, seems so reasonable. These bits of information have come from astronomy primarily. And then we join with the biochemists who tell us about the probable evolution of life here on Earth, the kinds of elements that are necessary for it, DNA molecules, amino acids and the like. Amino acids which have now been found in meteorites, that we have now found interstellar molecules floating out in the space between stars, so that you know the materials for a carbon-based life exist. We know that many of the building blocks of life in our own solar system exist off of our planet. If you put these kinds of probabilities together, it begins to lead to the sorts of conclusions that we started with as an initial premise, and which apparently no one on the panel has disagreed, and that is that life must exist in the universe, and it must exist quite abundantly.
The most optimistic estimates, in the view of many, about the number of civilizations that there might be in the galaxy is of the order of 1 million, which means that only one in a few 100,000 stars as such civilizations.
That would mean a billion such places just in our own galaxy that might contain life.
As I believe there's a society of these groups, not just one. There are probably very many. If there's only one, we have no hope of finding them. There are probably thousands, maybe as many as 1 million. They probably already have had a long history of this same experience of finding new ones and bringing them into the network.
As much as we celebrate the diversity of life on Earth, at the end of the day, we must confess we have a sample of one, because all life on Earth is related. And there'd be no greater discovery in the history of biology, in the history of science, to find an entire other biosphere, an entire other ecosystem with life thriving and surviving all unto itself, with no reference to anything that goes on here on Earth. These are the first steps to those discoveries.
These are statements from some of the most popular and brilliant minds humanity has known. Voices in which we trust to influence the scientific interests within our children. That panel took place in the 1970s. The interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson took place in 2006, when publicly these subjects were still speculation, were still in their infancy. However, information that has been released within the last year, and things still to come, only give us more proof that something is out there. But how exactly would it work? In the search for extraterrestrial life, mainstream science has often found plenty of roadblocks, often cited to be the Fermi paradox, essentially stating that if there are, in fact, other extraterrestrial civilizations somewhere just in the galaxy alone, where the hell are they? One solution that many try to offer up states that these beings may be coming from other realms, other dimensions, which, given the nature of such a subject, if you truly analyzed some of the individuals who offered up these solutions, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. If anything, in my professional opinion, they are trying to make themselves seem smarter than they actually are. They're trying to utilize things that they know people cannot call out when it comes to offering up those sorts of explanations. However, when it comes to dealing with life from other worlds, if one were to take just one look at some of the declassified documents out there talking about the UFO phenomenon. In fact, I'm going to put one up right here. It states something very similar. People who have actually had resources and the time to look into these events are coming up with very similar solutions. So what the hell does that mean? First off, if we take away the science fiction aspects when it comes to parallel worlds, multiple dimensions, we utilize definitions often stated by mathematicians and physicists. It actually works out a lot better than what most people realize. And I'm going to be honest with you. These subjects are so advanced that our mind cannot physically comprehend anything above the 3 spatial dimensions we know in our existence right now. We cannot show what a 4th or a 5th dimension may look like. We can create sort of abstract ideas that are based on what their shadows may look like if they were to interact with our world. But as far as showing, this is what we have to work with. So we have our 3 spatial dimensions, right? We have straight lines, we have 2D flat surfaces, like a piece of paper. Then we have 3 dimensions. We have up, down, left, right, forward, back, simple as that. An infinite number of 1-dimensional lines create a 2-dimensional space. An infinite number of 2-dimensional objects create a 3-dimensional world. Okay? Now, what's beyond the 3rd dimension is often disputed. Some say that the 4th dimension is time. The progress of change throughout existence. Let's utilize that definition. Because time in itself is also disputed on what the hell it is. And it is within time, the 4th dimension, that we get what's going to be a horribly drawn tesseract. It is a 4-dimensional object in which made up of 3-dimensional cubes. Let's take this box, for example. We consider this a 3-dimensional object, right? Length, width, height. Okay. Every side of a 4-dimensional tesseract would be made of one of these. Confusing, ain't it? Now, the 4th dimension is where we usually get time. The 5th is where we get parallel worlds through a similar starting point. How does that work? Let's make this simple. This magnet here will represent our 3-dimensional world. And it is, say, the world expands through its existence to where eventually, say in a few million years or so, this tiny little speck becomes this. Still with me? 3-dimensional space is all the dust, rocks, the molecules in the universe coming together in this formation. Time is simply a measurement of how this became that. Simplest way to put it. Now, when it comes to parallel worlds, this is where it gets trippy. This is where multiple worlds are born. For example, if we were able to somehow manage to travel through a 5th-dimensional space, we could potentially interact with other worlds that started at the same point as we did. Up until some point in time, these 2 worlds were the same. This is where concepts like Schrodinger's cat comes along, where one world, the cat's alive, another world, the cat's dead. This could be a matter of anything, really. To where one world, I decided to wear a blue shirt, just as an example. Would that really affect much change? No. But being able to traverse through a 5th-dimensional space could allow us to peek into how events may play out better than just the educational guesses that come from criminology and profiling and all the major sciences, in no matter what instance you want to apply this to. Sixth dimension is where things start getting a little interesting. This is where parallel worlds start to change. They start to look drastically different. Their origin points differ from those that are closest connected in a fifth dimensional space. This could be a world where everyone who was born male is that female. This could be a world where comic book physics seems to work. This could be literally anything that your mind is able to think of. It's possible. That's the shortest explanation to this. Seventh dimension, we start getting into parallel universes, where the entire universe starts diverging at a separate point. This is where things get tricky. If we were to somehow manage to traverse through a seventh dimensional space and anything higher, there's a lot we're risking. When we launch into space, there are a number of factors that come into play. And I'm talking about manned missions. We have quite a few of those being planned to send people to the moon and Mars and so on. So let's focus on that. You have to build life-sustaining systems. You have to accommodate bodily pressure to avoid the person being hurt. You have to accommodate for G-forces. You have to get supplies, all sorts of this shit. All sorts of factors go into making sure the people we send up manage to come back. Alright? But when we get to a high enough dimensional level of travel, there's another thing we need to take into consideration. We have in our world where this poorly drawn figure is able to have a solid body shape, right? The physics in which allow us to have a solid form. We go into another world beyond at least the sixth dimension. At least. We will be a puddle of goo. So, yeah. Dealing with these matters can be confusing. But this brings me to my next point. If, as the declassified documents state, even if, as some of the psychics, air quotes because a lot of them are kind of sketchy, there's a few good ones out there, but that's another project. If they are coming from parallel worlds, and some of them are even stating that they are coming here to live among us, the physics in their world would have to be almost identical to ours. Otherwise, their destination, their trip is fatal. It could kill them. Simple as that. So how would they be able to go through these dimensions as easily as it seems they are? Going back to the magnet as our world. Say if we were planning a rocket to Mars. We have to accommodate for gravity, planetary alignments, things like that. In multi-dimensional space, a lot of people try to throw out antimatter, dark matter, black holes, things like that, as way of beating these limitations. And who knows? Maybe these ETs figured out some way to do it. But much like we here on Earth tried to plan a launch to Mars when the planetary alignments are their closest to where the least amount of resources would have to be used, things of that nature, chances are the extraterrestrials are, in fact, thinking of something similar. They're trying to accommodate for those limitations, because they would have to move their craft in directions that we can't even depict. And what would it look like when they show up? We may have things like rapidly changing shapes, sudden bright lights out of nowhere, weird shadows that come out of nowhere, electromagnetic anomalies, temperature anomalies. A lot of these reports that from government agencies, these reports that are coming out of 40s, 50s, 60s, even some of the more recent ones, state that it may be possible to build some sort of radar that looks into the environmental changes that come with multidimensional travel. Because we would have electromagnetic spikes, we would have things seemingly glowing, we would have weird shadows, temperature fluctuations. But now that I mentioned that part, is it just me or does some of that sound familiar? Oh wait, what are some of the common tropes looked for by ghost hunters? Environmental changes, cold spots, electromagnetic fluctuations, things suddenly changing shape, random shadows, things seemingly glowing for no reason. So that's the case. What the hell does that mean?
Pardon me, Mr. Franson.
Yeah.
There is an incoming message from John.
Really? Why is he getting a hold of me?
He says he has information for you in regards to it, sir.
I'll be right back.
February 13, 2021. While attending a live stream broadcast with the Global Investigations Team, an entity which was the focus of investigations had attacked high-ranking members across 3 countries. Even though the incident is wiped from the records for the protection of the team, it can be confirmed to potentially be the first ever documented case of an international demonic possession. The official investigation into the entity was terminated, but due to Dakota Franzen's personal history, the battle has yet to end.
I'm just getting ready to leave Coeur d'Alene. I came up here to hopefully catch some things for the show, but something else entirely happened. Something that I'm honestly still trying to process. Long story short, there was an attack. My team and I were trying to do a live stream online just to talk about some of our operations, and one by one we got picked off. Something we were hunting was hunting us back. I don't know how to process it. I've had theories that something like this was possible, but to see it unfold, it's completely mind-boggling. So, I just don't know. To be honest, there was somebody I was hoping to see while I was up here. Someone who I haven't seen in a few years, but after that happened, it's probably for the best, you know? I don't want her getting hurt. My name is Dakota Franson. I'm sorry, I'm just... I want to speak to the gentleman. Can I speak to the... Why are you haunting us? Why? Why are you Why are you attacking people? I want you to listen to me, and you listen good. We will come for you. You hurt anybody? You hurt any of my team? We will come for you, and you will not like what comes of it. I'm gonna give you a chance. Back off. The Necrophonic is a spirit box app that anybody can get their hands on. I honestly didn't know about it until I joined Parachills. It certainly became interesting when the attack took place. I mean, this thing started by hitting members in the UK. Why it chose that, I don't know. Maybe it saw an opening. I was the first one to realize that something was going on. Activity had been taking place. While my friend that was first attacked was in the UK, I'm in the US. I was the one he reached out to when he started coughing up blood. Shortly after that, another member started reporting that she was feeling choked, losing air, and had a shadow visitor. Then finally, the brunt of the attack. The figure showed itself to a member located in Canada just before the possession took place. It may have been possible to take him on right then and there, had the individual's children not been in the room. The recording from the Necrophonic app took place the morning of the attack. This thing was planned. I have a rough idea of what it is, of why it did what it did, but I need to go deeper. Because this showed things that still completely baffle me. In case any of my team members, my friends, the family I have come to know in Parachills are seeing this, I'm sorry. But being the fact that this thing isn't afraid to attack children, in fact it makes a point to attack children, I can't walk away. And you can see it for yourself. This thing was afraid of me. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that it seems like I have heaven on speed dial. More work's to be done in this case. But in regards to what I'm putting together right now, here, in this moment, this attack offered up a glimpse into something that I've been wondering about. Spirits, UFOs. All things considered, I honestly can't tell if it opens up innovation or annihilation.
The attack Mr. Franzen mentioned had initiated the creation of the new Lord of Shadows protocol in order to better combat demonic threats, thanks to the revelations it provided. In the event of a genuine exorcism taking place, most exorcists would advise all electronic recording devices be turned off to prevent a spirit from being able to spread to more people. However, this is far from a newly acquired ability born from the innovations within technology. Spirits could always find ways to traverse long distances in a relatively short amount of time by moving through the minimum of four-dimensional space. Being that the human mind cannot physically observe anything outside of three-dimensional spaces, unsuspecting observers may view the entity as simply vanishing or teleporting. A number of other interesting phenomena are observed, but this is the piece most crucial to the following experiments.
Several UFO reports that are deemed to most likely be credible sightings noted quite similar qualities to spirits being able to move through our world. With the statements in official documents by the United States government stating the extraterrestrials are coming from parallel planes of existence, it is possible that said beings manage to technologically induce ways of travel spirits are naturally able to complete. This may cause some confusion, but it does explain as to why notions like the ancient alien theory may hold some merit in regards to past anomalies. With the current technology that is available to the general public, it is difficult to test these theories at the same capacity without utilizing potentially unstable mechanisms in order to replicate flying saucers or somehow manage to quantify and measure the motions of consciousness itself while someone is dying. However, it would seem that mainstream science is in the infancy of achieving these feats. It is obvious more research is to be done in these areas. But the imagination alone makes the mind wander to what possibilities await in the horizon. The Lord of Shadows protocol even takes this into consideration by calling upon and somehow connecting beings from other realms to launch an attack against powerful demonic threats. This in itself highly recommends that energies be focused toward known benevolent or neutral beings to avoid accidentally leaving one's self open for attack. The suggestions are not perfect, but they are the best option at hand with what resources are available. Yes, it is possible that having some form of psychic dispositions would aid, but under the right circumstances anyone can achieve what is about to be done.
In experiments to document the effects of the anomalies in quantum mechanics, researchers from the University of Tokyo managed to entangle particles of light in order to essentially mimic teleportation. To keep this explanation as simple as possible, in order to do this, a particle of light was destroyed and recreated it in another location. Curiously though, with quantum entanglement, particles are known to show signs that they are somehow connected to one another even though they could literally be thousands of miles apart. With particles that manage to teleport, another curious anomaly Albert Einstein even referred to as spooky took place. There was a fraction of a second where the destroyed particle somehow managed to appear in two locations at once. But one has to wonder though, what kind of negative consequences of this are there? Mr. Franzen mentioned earlier that extraterrestrials who visit our world would have to originated from another realm or universe where physics that allow life to be sustained are identical enough to avoid fatal outcomes. But look through various lore and mythologies, it is stated the realms many may refer to as heaven and hell are connected to multiple universes. If one were able to perfect the technology for multiverse travel and not know the appropriate calculations to plot their course, what are the chances of one accidentally moving through a world where literal monsters and demons roam? Since the COVID-19 pandemic began, there have been increased reports of demons roaming the earth. Does this mean that if in the wrong hands, trying to travel and understand creation in itself will only lead to our doom?
With these questions in mind, Dakota Franzen has taken several factors into consideration when determining what course of action should be taken to ensure a positive outcome if contact is successful. In the first installment of his films, titled The Hunt for Olivia, Dakota established that the slim odds of him having a genuine connection within heaven itself is what will allow him to safely conduct these experiments. In order to make sure contact with the right worlds is made, Dakota plans to call the angel Metatron to help in these endeavors, as his functions as the scribe of God, and the angel of the veil make him knowledgeable and all-seeing within multiple realms. By Metatron's aid, which means using him as a celestial satellite for lack of simpler explanation, Dakota will try to relay messages to these other realms to make contact.
The criteria for selection is simple. 1. Has this being been to our world or managed to make contact with our world before? 2. Is it likely that this entity will have ulterior motives that could cause harm? 3. How likely are they to be able to quote-unquote hear Mr. Franzen's messages? If enough of a connection and amount of respect is shown, Mr. Franzen hopes to be able to capture legitimate evidence of these beings to invoke genuine encounters. Not just voices through a recording, but a real face-to-face encounter.
So Dakota, who are these beings?
First up is Valiant Thor. This was a name given by an extraterrestrial who allegedly held VIP status at the Pentagon from the years 1957 to 1960. In the book Stranger at the Pentagon by Dr. Frank E. Stranges, it is stated that Val, as he was called, landed in a field outside of Alexandria, Virginia, with only the request to speak to President Eisenhower to address concerns from an intergalactic High Council over the use of nuclear arms here on Earth. Val also claimed that he himself was from the planet Venus, and that at the time of his arrival at least 70 other members of his race were on Earth, coming and going as they please. Separate reports also indicate that Nikola Tesla was from the same planet. During his time on Earth, it is stated that Valiant Thor met with several government officials. He was even said to have loaned a suit he arrived in to humanity to perform a variety of tests in order to understand its materials and lack of ability to be destroyed by even the most exotic of weaponry at the government's disposal. Curiously, though, it is stated that Valiant Thor began to reference several religious concepts in his attempts to describe humanity's troubles. He was also stated to seemingly have personal knowledge about those he spoke with, some information that even they were not aware of. The religious mentions may immediately discredit the event entirely to some skeptical minds. It should be noted that Val himself admitted that Valiant Thor was not in fact his name, but one chosen by him that humans would both understand and would also help convey his message here on Earth. He would promise not to engage humans by force, but warned that there were others who may not be as kind. For his physical appearance, Val may look almost indistinguishable from a human. He is reported to be 6 feet tall, weighed roughly 185 pounds, had brown hair, and brown eyes. It should also be noted that his external features included extra digits on his hands and feet. Internally, his body was supported by a singular lung and an enlarged heart. Based on reports that I've been able to come across, the Valiant Thor, should he decide to cooperate with these experiments, would only be beneficial to the operations at hand. Second is Verlon of the Ashtar Command. It is unknown currently if Verlon is in fact a genuine extraterrestrial due to the conflicting reports and the ease of the incident in question his name was mentioned. During a television broadcast in South London, someone or something managed to hijack a television signal and relayed a message pertaining to, once again, concerns of weapons on Earth, weapons of war. It is not exactly known what Verlon looks like. It is speculated that he may be humanoid. The Ashtar Command in question is allegedly parts of a High Council, like mentioned with Valiant Thor, that pertains to the overall well-being of species throughout the universe, and consists of various members of various different races. It is also alleged that Athena from Greek pantheon is a member. The third and final test subject is probably the strangest of them all. Codenamed simply John. John is not an extraterrestrial in the traditional sense. I would like to remind the audience that several reports indicate that the extraterrestrials may not be coming from other planets in the traditional sense that we would think of, like extraterrestrials coming from Mars to visit Earth. But they may in fact be residing in other realms. John, for all intents and purposes, seems to have originated from a parallel Earth. He is well versed in what we would call magic. The thing that makes him the most unique and strangest out of all these test subjects is that he may in fact be a tulpa, said to have originated from a comic book writer. Sounds ridiculous, I know. But John is, out of all these test subjects, John has responded the most. There was even a message left for me after the first experiments, saying that if you can hear me, he lost you. I will play that clip right now.
What? Fear me. Breaker. Lamp. You nutter.
My name is Dakota Franson. Is there anybody who would like to make themselves known this evening? Got quite a few little devices here.
6.
Let's see. Got that. Got that. This is shut off. Okay, it's still recording. Got a camera, got a candle, got a K2 meter. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 spirit boxes getting ready to go. All just to hear you. Is there anybody in here who would like to speak to me? No. Well, you're going to. Whether you like it or not. Who was it that destroyed the files?
4.
Who was it that destroyed the files on my camera where I couldn't see you?
Where? Where?
Where? I'll show you. This camera right here. It was recording earlier today. Yet somebody fucked it up. I want to know who it was.
Later.
Later? No. Now.
Where?
Just gonna keep repeating that, aren't you? You're looking to piss me off.
There.
Don't worry. We got something just for you. We'll make it to where you can hear me nice and clear. Now, there's people in particular I would like to speak to. Am I going to be allowed to reach them this evening?
Three.
serpent? Did I just hear that right? Something just growled.
Vocal.
Yeah, it's quite vocal tonight, ain't it? My name is Dakota Franson. I would like to speak to a gentleman known as Valiant Thor. Was Thor a real person? Valiant Thor. Said from the planet Venus. Was he real? Can I speak to him tonight?
Family.
Yeah. Was that you I saw earlier today, Thor? Was that your ship I saw? I know we spoke earlier, but those files got damaged. So I might repeat some questions. Might repeat some questions that I already asked earlier today. Is that okay with you? Yes or no? I got a few devices here supposed to help me hear you a little easier. Yes, I heard my name. Thor, it's my understanding that you were concerned that people with you were concerned about nuclear arms on Earth. Is that true?
Again.
Yes, we're going to do this again. Why don't you want us to have those weapons, Thor? You're afraid that humanity on Earth is going to hurt itself? Hurt the planet beyond repair?
Itself.
I know I asked this earlier, but was that your ship I saw, Thor? Do you work with the Ashtar Command? Yes. I heard a yes.
Dog.
What's that? It's a dog. What about the dog? If possible, I would also like to speak to Verlon. Verlon, you allegedly took over a television broadcast a long time ago. Is that true?
Adjective.
Adjective? Do you mean objective? What's your objective then?
Chaos.
What about chaos? You trying to stop it? Yes or no?
Intent.
What are your intentions?
Energy.
I'm putting something together to try to help prove that you guys are real. Val, Ashtar, Verlon, all of you. Are you okay with me doing that? I'm hearing some other names come through. Is there someone else here? State your name, please.
Us.
I would like to see you guys in person to learn more about you. Would that be possible?
Idle.
Interesting how all this vocal activity you had nothing on the K2. Are any of you in here in this room with me? Yes or no? No. Can you come in this room? You have my permission.
Record. Vocal.
What do you want us people on Earth to do?
Dislike.
A message. Okay. What is your message?
Uphold.
Lon, Ashtar, and Valiant
Drive.
Thor. How many species from other planets are on Earth right now? Do any of you want to hurt us? John.
Moment.
John. John, are you in here? John, where are you from?
Same.
Are you from this world? Where? Where were you born?
Jen.
John, I told you a plan earlier in order to fight the Lord of Shadows. Do you think it'll work?
Feel.
Here. Do you think we can trust the Venusians? The Ashtar Command?
Wisdom.
What does that say? Wisdom. Who was the one mentioning doom earlier? Someone was in here threatening me. Was that John? Olivia, are you in here too?
Music.
Alright, I'm feeling more than one person in here. So I'm gonna start naming out some names. And if that person is here, if that being is here, can you please let me know? Just by simply saying yes. Is my daughter Olivia here?
Quest.
What? Quest. Is Thomas Roy here? Yes or no? Is Michael the Archangel here? Is Valiant Thor here?
Manual.
Is anyone from the Ashtar Command here? Can the Ashtar Command hear me? Is Lucifer here? Is Lilith here?
After.
Is Eve here? Are you here to help me with what's coming?
Deal.
Alright. Do you want me to end this session? Do you all want me to end this session? Yes or no? No? Is there any last words? Can we trust the Night of Light? It's no secret that this case was intercepted by something much more devious than strange lights in the sky. However, it provided more answers into how these things were possible. It's hard to say where this will go. I had a nice little speech prepared for this moment. But the implications of the final moments of putting this project together indicated that something much bigger than anyone can ever understand is at play. Heaven, hell, angels, demons, gods and monsters. It's all coming to light. I've been able to find some help with people much like myself, and I may need their help. It's only a matter of time before the full truth about extraterrestrial life comes out. The videos I provided show that something is out there. And upon further investigation of all the reports mentioned in this show, it has been determined it is likely of unknown origin, that those craft were not of this earth. No matter. For now, the extraterrestrials, unless they make themselves known further, will have to be put on pause, because there is something lurking in the shadows, and it's killing people. Well, best of luck to you all. Stay safe out there. You never know what lies within the night.